Hello, I am Olivia and I'm the owner of Profits and Books bookkeeping services based in Pretoria. Today I want to talk about sole proprietors. But before we continue, I just want to say thank you to everyone who is watching and thank you so much for tuning in to watch this video. So a very, very warm welcome. Sole proprietor. What is a sole proprietor? Now, when you own a business, especially in South Africa, where there are so many rules and regulations and laws when it comes to owning a business. And the thing is, when I'm talking about a business, I'm talking about a registered company. And we all think, in many cases, that the only way to be legit as a business is when you have a registered company. It used to be a CC or a closed corporation, but now the CCs no longer applies. It is a private company. But there is another way for you to do business and still do it within the confines of the law. And that is called a sole proprietor. It sounds like a very fancy word, but actually what a sole proprietor is when you run a business, but it's not registered. So there's nothing illegal about this. So let's see, for what kind of business would a sole proprietor work? It's normally for your one-man business. Like when you are a florist, an electrician, a plumber. The people, when you offer a service or a business, the kind of service that you offer when you don't need a team of people to do it, unless, of course, if you are interested to move into the big league and get the huge contracts. But when it comes to a sole proprietor, it's like what we say when you work out of your backyard. That is where a sole proprietor applies. It's for the small business owner. Maybe you could have 1, 2, 3, or 3. You can even have employees and still be a proprietor. So let's see how it works when you are operating as a sole proprietor. First of all, you are the owner of your company. It's a business. It's just not registered as a company. You do everything in your own name. Or you can make up a name and then trade under that name, but still, when people pay you, they pay it into your personal bank accounts. They don't pay it to a company name, because at the banks, you are not registered in the company name. You are registered as an individual, as a person. So that is a sole proprietor. You can choose to operate as your own name, or you can choose a family member's name, or you can choose any name that sounds really cool to you. But here is what is the crux of the matter. Remember, even if you don't have a registered company, even if it's not registered with the CIPC, you are operating a business and you still need to pay the hated tax man. And this is where the waters gets a little bit murky when you operate as a sole proprietor, because SARS still wants you to submit tax. But the difference between when it's a private company and when it's a sole proprietor is that with a sole proprietor, the more money you make, the more tax you will pay. You will get taxed as an individual on a sliding scale. Sorry, not a sliding scale, a proportional scale. You will be taxed according to your income. But that's not always, it's not a bad thing as such, especially when you operate as a business. The reason why I say this is not a bad thing, if you can prove to SARS as my own small business unregistered company, I have clients, I'm making a good living, fair enough living, but Few people jump up and down when it comes to paying the tax man. In fact, it gives you so much stress when you think about SARS. So then, as a sole proprietor, how then do you deal with the issues of tax? Because that is at the heart of the headaches. It's the money management. Because you might think, you know what? My company isn't registered. I'll just operate as me and that's fine. But SARS still wants your money, right? And SARS doesn't care. Unfortunately, SARS doesn't deal with emotions. I wish they could, but they don't deal with emotions. It's not about how I feel. Because let's face it, if we could avoid not paying tax, we would do that, right? But the reality is, SARS wants a portion of your income. And at times it's a bitter pill to swallow. And it's a very unpleasant and galling thought, but it needs to be done. And how do you, as a sole proprietor, make it a little bit easier for you when you submit tax? How you then do it? You start out doing it right. The first thing is, when you operate a business, registered or unregistered, when you operate, separate your business from your personal money. So the first thing you do is when you then decide, I'm going to start making money selling shoes, or I'm going to start making money delivering a service, the first thing you do, you open another separate bank account. So then you have the one where only the business money go in, and then the other one is only for your personal use. That's step number one. Why is this important? Say for instance, as a sole proprietor, your business grows. And now you want to buy a house, or you want to buy a car, or you need financing for any reason. You need money from the bank. The first thing the bank would want to see, because they ask your bank statements, just like with any other business owner, they ask your bank statements. And they want to see, do you separate personal from business? And let's be realistic. It's very easy for me to sit here and say, you know what? You should separate personal from business. But that is one of the most difficult things to do. Because one of the best feelings, when you have your business, right? Or you make money and you start selling things and money starts coming in. Oh my gosh. Few people, very few of us, would have the presence of mind to say, wait, hang on. Let me get ready for SARS and separate my funds, right? It sounds unrealistic, but it takes practice to do it. It's not going to happen automatically. So the sooner you get into that habit of only, this is my business account. It is in my name. And when you do business, that's the account number you get. You give out to your clients or your customers. And then when you decide, you know what? I've worked very hard. The money was good this week. I want to go and eat out. Take that money out of your business account and put it in your personal account. Because what happens is now, say for instance, you didn't separate your funds and you apply, you want to make a loan from the bank. And they look at your money and they ask you, when they look at your bank statements, and they want to know from you, okay, I can see that maybe you make 100,000 Rand a month on your bank statements. How much of that money it's actually spent on the business, and how much of the money did you take to spend on other things that has nothing to do with the business? So if you start from day one, which is not easy, I know, because in the midst of excitement of having money, money can make us a bit crazy with excitement. So, but if you start training and conditioning yourself, this is A account is for business, B account is for personal use. That's already a big step to manage your money and also to see the growth of your company.